The painful regret that a narcissist feels when he hurts you but his heart loves you very much. Thinking highly of themselves is something that narcissists do all the time to boost their own egos. Most of the time, they do this by putting other people down and making excuses for their own acts, putting the blame on someone else. Most people think it's more important to be responsible for what you do than to try to get other people to approve of you. Narcissists, on the other hand, often act in a passive-aggressive way, using subtle forms of violence while denying doing anything wrong. It shouldn't be a surprise that they're great at making reasons for what they do, since they do it all the time. We will talk about 3 consequences that narcissists try to avoid in today's movie. We really appreciate your help and being here with us. You are the main reason why our YouTube station does so well, and we really appreciate your continued support. If you don't want to miss any more movies, make sure you click the bell and subscribe to our channel. Now is the time to start the conversation. First, narcissists will figure out how to get something done without telling anyone else. Narcissists may act in strange ways to hide their flaws, but they always go back to how they normally act. When people say making up, they mean leaving a fight behind. This is typical of narcissists because they like making other people's lives hard. They don't usually own up to their mistakes. Instead, they blame others, which makes it unlikely that they will say sorry. Narcissists often make up long, complicated reasons for what they do to defend their actions and shift the blame. They believe that if you don't think about something, you will forget about it. Nasty people, on the other hand, find it hard to take criticism and will do almost anything to avoid it. They will get angry with you if you bring it up. They will think you are being helpful if you act like the event didn't happen. Second, narcissists often put off responsibilities as a way to get what they want. This is a great way to get people to agree with them. If a narcissist knows they have hurt you, they might try to avoid you instead of saying sorry or making things right. In other words, if you bring up an unfinished issue the next time you see them, it might get awkward. In this case, they may act like they don't remember and give you a gift. So they can keep controlling you. They want you to do what they say. Being ready to forget about what happened and move on is very important. You should also be willing to give the relationship another chance by putting the past behind. Narcissists have always been around, and bad luck keeps happening. People will always try to start over and make their lives better as long as there is hope. The truth is very different from what they think. If you talk about something a narcissist did, they will say you are bad and stuck in the past. Don't bring it up. Some people might think it's rude to talk about the past if they don't want to. Instead, stop focusing on the past and pay attention to the present. I want to stress this point again. Narcissists follow 2 sets of rules that are very similar. They won't own up to their mistakes or say they were wrong when they do. If you were wrong, they would love to argue about it for hours, making you feel so bad that you would give in and do whatever they asked as a way to make things right. We hate it when they lie to us. It's not okay to have 2 sets of rules. No matter how you look at it, let's go back to the idea of time. They think that if you give them time, you will forget about them and move on with your life. Narcissists may act like they agree with what you're saying to get out of the talk quickly. But all of this is just a show. The goal is to make it look like they are paying attention and interested in what you have to say. Not only will they not say anything, but they will also nod their head to make you feel better. Narcissists think they don't have to follow the rules. They want you to think they're responsible, but they haven't. There is something called a general apology, when someone says they are sorry for something, but doesn't say what it is. They might say things like, "Whatever I did wrong, I'm sorry," and so on all the time. Really, They don't plan to do anything about how smart they are, but they act smart at times. Third, and most simply, narcissists keep things the same by luring other people in. They think that having sexual relations is the fastest way to make things better. Whenever things get tough, they might show you lots of love and treat you like a valuable gem. It's easy to think these actions are sincere, but narcissists use your emotional weakness to get you to forget the harm they have done. And even though they seem close to you in other ways, having sexual relations with them makes you weak and has bad effects. Narcissists, both male and female, often trick their victims into thinking they care about them, which takes the focus off of what they really want. Narcissists try to avoid taking responsibility for their behaviors in all of these situations. Instead of dealing with the problems that need to be fixed, they choose to make up by being close. They will keep using the same strategies as long as they work. They think that just bringing up the problem briefly and saying they'll do better is enough. Narcissists find it hard to say sorry because they don't think they did anything wrong. To get a narcissist to like you again, you have to act like you've never done anything wrong and never will. Because of this, it is important to confront their lies by telling the truth. Are there other ways that narcissists try to improve their image? Thanks for reading this. We hope it was useful. If it has, please let us know what you think in the area below. Please let us know what you thought about today's show. If you like what you see, you might want to click the warning bell icon to subscribe to our channel. As always, thank you very much for your time and thought. Welcome back to our channel. To our empathic audience, it has come to our attention that many of you struggle to grasp the fundamental truth behind the narcissist-empath dynamic. The narcissist, with their cunning and manipulative tactics, employs strategies like devaluation, silent treatment, and blatant disregard to undermine your sense of self-worth, leaving you feeling insignificant and undervalued. In the aftermath of this emotional turmoil, as the narcissist seemingly moves on with new companions, it's common for you to find yourself trapped in a cycle of rumination. You may yearn for the bygone days, reminiscing about the love bombing and affection they once showered upon you. Despite consuming countless videos and articles on this topic, we recognize that some of you still struggle to fully internalize the message. It just doesn't seem to resonate, does it? However, there's a crucial insight you must embrace. Deep down, the narcissist longs for you, the empath. They are aware that they've pushed you to your limits, testing the bounds of your emotional endurance. They know they've crossed lines. Despite their outward demeanor, they harbor a genuine longing for your presence, even if they never openly admit it. Let's face it, rejection is a tough pill for anyone to swallow. And for the narcissist, it's downright abhorrent, often dreaded. But here's the twist. Instead of facing you head-on, being transparent and honest about their true feelings, they prefer to keep you guessing, longing for their return. We're all too familiar with their knack for hiding their emotions, for wearing their masks of deceit. So when you see them with a new partner, seemingly beaming with happiness and satisfaction, it's crucial to realize that it's just another facade they're putting on. They've perfected this act over many years, perhaps even decades. So why would you assume there's any genuine change this time around? As an empath, you play a significant role in their life, a vital character in their journey. You've lifted them up, imparted invaluable lessons. So don't be fooled by the smiles captured in photos with their new partner, who might very well be a step down. What makes you think that behind those smiles, they're truly fulfilled and content? They're simply wearing a mask, my friend. The truth is they're far from content. They're miserable beings, peculiar entities engulfed in their own misery. Despite the immense fortune of having you in their lives, they fail to express their gratitude. Therefore, I implore you to do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button, support a fellow empath, or simply spare a mere 2 seconds of your precious time. If I'd mentioned this before, my apologies. I just want to ensure you're aware. Now, let's delve into the harsh reality of the situation. In their time spent by your side, they dwelled in a realm of gloom, utterly oblivious to the precious gem they had in you. Can you believe it? Those peculiar souls, those enigmatic beings, failed to grasp the treasure that lay right within their reach. Therefore, it's paramount for you, my dear companion, to comprehend that despite their semblance of intimacy with others, or their ventures with new companions, their existence is anything but a paradise of joy. It's no fairy tale or enchanted realm they inhabit. Behind their masks, they merely simulate happiness, feign contentment, and pretend to revel in their surroundings. This performance, dear reader, is a twisted spectacle. They are but a troop of outcasts ensnared in their own distorted realities. I sincerely hope you grasped the essence of my message here. It's about delving beneath the surface, uncovering the truth, and that's precisely what I aim to enlighten and illustrate for you. I understand that not everyone resonates with this perspective, but I've come across numerous remarks suggesting, "They look happier now," or "They appear to be thriving without me." Allow me to illuminate something. While they may intentionally project an enhanced image because they're aware of your scrutiny, the narcissist fully acknowledges the confusion they left you in and the significant emotional harm they caused. They're cognizant of your surveillance of their social media activity. That's why I consistently stress the importance of reaching a point where you resist the temptation to keep tabs on them. However, let me make one thing clear. I won't stop reminding you to refrain from checking up on them. Why, you ask? Simply because we all need reinforcement from time to time, don't we? They're presenting themselves in this light primarily for your benefit. You played a pivotal role in their lives for a year, 2 years, 3 years, or even longer. You're an integral part of their journey. May I speak frankly with you? Do you honestly believe that they can simply encounter someone new and completely erase your presence from their life? Do you think they don't encounter constant reminders of you every day? Let me address another crucial aspect. If you were in the wrong, if you genuinely mistreated them, I would openly admit it. But that's simply not the case. You showed kindness towards them. You did your best. While none of us can claim perfection, you made a sincere effort nonetheless. They have tried to twist the narrative, making you believe that you were the one at fault, that you were the one who caused harm. But let me assure you, that's just another aspect of their deceptive facade. And when the truth eventually comes to light, when their true character is revealed, they persist in their dishonesty. They are chronic fabricators, my friend. So when you see them on social media portraying an ideal life, professing to be ecstatic with their new partner on a beach, take it with a grain of salt. They are not reveling in beachside bliss. Internally, they are wallowing in misery, endlessly scrolling through their phones, comparing their lives to others, yearning for something they lack. Can you see through the charade now? They are habitual deceivers, chronic manipulators. Don't trust their words, not even for a fleeting moment. All right, it's important to grasp that the narcissist yearns for your return. They crave to have you back. However, they are fully aware that they have crossed boundaries and pushed you to your emotional limit. Consequently, they keep you in a state of uncertainty because your emotional state holds significance to them at this stage. Understand that they won't sincerely acknowledge their mistakes or offer an apology. While some of the lesser narcissists might make such a gesture, many will simply move on, seeking to evoke jealousy within you. Let me share a personal anecdote. I stopped keeping tabs on the narcissist's social media activity, and in response, they began restricting their posts to private settings. Initially, I was blocked, and then they unblocked me, anticipating my reaction. They strategically showcased their new partner on social media as if to provoke me. However, the last time I checked, there was no sign of a new partner. Everything was concealed behind privacy settings. I made a conscious decision in that moment, realizing that I would never subject myself to such an ordeal again. You must recognize that the narcissist yearns for your presence, but they are petrified of the changes you've undergone, dreading the transformation sparked by their actions. They are gripped by fear, fearing the consequences of their deeds, the anguish they inflicted upon you. They tremble at the notion of your evolution, growth, and metamorphosis in the aftermath. Directly confronting you is a daunting prospect for them, believe me on this. You held a significant place in their thoughts. You were their steadfast support for a considerable period. It's understandable to grasp that even if you were to enter a new relationship, despite enduring the abuse from the narcissist, traces of them would linger in your mind. You may find yourself musing about them while nurturing a fresh connection. So, why do you think a narcissist would be any different? They too ponder the profound impact you've had on their lives. I can personally attest to this, having encountered a Hoover attempt even after 4 extensive years. This is the influence you, as an empath and a chosen one, wield over their existence. You leave an indelible mark, an impression they never truly forget. As time elapses, they even begin to question themselves. In fact, I recently shared a video delving into how they turn against their flying monkeys, blaming those closest to them for the dissolution between the two of you. Please, I implore you, lend your ear to my words and ponder their ramifications. They may paint a picture of happiness, but beneath that veneer, they are drowning in despair. Their lives are a spectacle, illuminated by artificial light, masking their true selves. Peer beyond the surface, look beneath their deceptive facade, and you'll uncover peculiar, pitiful entities. Yes, there are nothing more than dusty oddities. Let's reminisce about our initial encounter with the narcissist. Did we have even a hint of their true nature back then? No, not at all. We saw them as charming, kind, and compassionate individuals. But reality was far from that perception. They wore a mask, concealing their true essence. And they continue this charade with their new partner, keeping up the act. However, there's a twist now. They're directing it back at you. Empaths, take heed. You occupy their thoughts. You linger in their minds. The narcissist longs for your return, yet they know they've overstepped boundaries, pushed you to your emotional limits. They dread facing you and confronting the core issues. Why? Because deep down they fear rejection. They dread being abandoned. I grasped the gravity of your situation. I've walked in your shoes. Years ago, when I tried to break free from a narcissist, they resorted to threats of self-harm, even going as far as taking pills. That's the extent of their power. They desperately need you far more than you need them. It's vital to realize that just because they have a new partner doesn't mean they've erased you from their mind. I urge you, as I once did, some of you might think they won't reach out. But let me share my story. I experienced a Hoover attempt after 4 long years. It happened when I was in a healed state, when I had made significant progress, and when I had firmly shut them out. They have a way of resurfacing in your life when you least expect it. However, I must caution you. If you continue to monitor their social media activities, especially on platforms like Snapchat, where users are notified of profile views, it could exacerbate the situation by signaling to them that you're still watching. You inadvertently validate them and play into their narrative. It's crucial to maintain distance and resist the urge to engage with their online persona. I implore you, dear friend, to confide in me. Place your trust in my words. The narcissist longs for your return, empath, yet they grapple with the awareness of their transgressions. They fear facing you, confronting the depth of your truth and the potency of your genuine love. Your authenticity intimidates them. So, when thoughts of the narcissist's idyllic life surface, remember, it's but a facade they adorn. Peer beyond the surface, beneath the mask, and the harsh reality will emerge. They are pitiful creatures, eternally yearning for what they cannot possess. And now, as they cannot have you, it torments them. Before I bid farewell, I kindly ask for your support by liking and subscribing. Your encouragement means the world to me. I extend my gratitude to each one of you, whether you like, subscribe, or simply watch. Your presence matters. Stay tuned for more enlightening content soon to come. Have you ever found yourself entangled with someone who thrived on your pain? You're not alone in this struggle. Throughout your time with the narcissist, you poured your heart into the relationship, constantly seeking their validation. Even in moments of fairness, they cruelly exploited your vulnerabilities, weaponizing your words and emotions against you. They reveled in belittling you without consequence, prioritizing their own satisfaction and dominance over your well-being. In their self-absorption, they likely forgot the extent of the harm they inflicted upon you, consumed by their own desires. Rest assured, we're here to support you through these challenging circumstances. Our team offers personalized sessions starting at just $1 per week, designed to guide you through healing from narcissistic abuse and empowering you to reclaim control and find solace. Take the first step towards regaining your strength and forging healthier connections by clicking the link below. As for the narcissist, they derived pleasure from placing you in distressing situations and relished in witnessing your efforts to overcome their mistreatment. They reveled in broadcasting your brokenness to others, deriving satisfaction from the knowledge that they were the architects of your downfall. Their self-esteem flourished as they boasted of their abandonment of you, basking in the misery they inflicted upon you. Narcissists remain oblivious to a fundamental truth, the concept of karma and its inevitable return. The repercussions of their actions have a tendency to resurface, often in forms more severe than the harm they inflicted upon others. Sooner or later, they will experience the same anguish they once caused. As time unfolds, the extent of their havoc becomes apparent. Although the benefits may not be immediate, rest assured they will manifest. Despite their belief that they have evaded accountability for their misdeeds, karma has a knack for seeking out the culpable and administering justice. While they may have inflicted considerable pain without remorse or attempts at restitution, their reckoning is inevitable. In their arrogance, they may derive temporary satisfaction from others' suffering, but their illusion of invincibility is short-lived. Karma intervenes precisely when they least expect it. Despite their callous disregard for the well-being of others and their refusal to confront the consequences of their actions, they will not evade retribution indefinitely. Their complacency will be shattered as the tide of misfortune engulfs them. While they may currently revel in a false sense of security, convinced of their immunity to repercussions, they are oblivious to the storm brewing on the horizon. Their audacious belief in their ability to perpetuate harm without consequence stems from their delusion that they are untouchable, a fallacy that will soon be dismantled. Narcissists may grasp the concept of karma when it inevitably catches up to them, yet they steadfastly refuse to confront it. They persist in fabricating excuses to justify their reprehensible treatment of you, clinging to the belief that their actions are permissible. When confronted with their wrongdoing, they resort to deflecting blame onto others, adamantly refusing to acknowledge their role in causing you pain. However, the consequences of their actions inevitably catch up to them, as karma exacts its toll. Ultimately, justice prevails, aligning itself in your favor. Despite their futile attempts to evade accountability, they frantically seek refuge in individuals they believe can shield them from the repercussions of karma's retribution. Yet, this charade is short-lived, as karma inevitably reveals itself with unyielding force. Though they may initially appear to thrive, their facade of happiness and success quickly crumbles under the weight of their transgressions. Their repeated failures in forming new relationships serve as poignant reminders of their refusal to accept responsibility for their actions. By perpetually avoiding accountability and failing to offer genuine apologies, they ensnare you in their web of manipulation. As their cycle of deceit continues, they remain trapped in a self-perpetuating cycle of karma's retribution. In the beginning, they masqueraded as someone they weren't, concealing their true identity. For a fleeting moment, unwittingly, you shielded them from the repercussions of their accumulated bad karma. However, it didn't take long for you to realize that you were merely another chapter in a saga of misfortune that had plagued them throughout their existence. You understood that the next individual they encountered would inevitably become ensnared in this unbreakable cycle. Their fate seemed inextricably bound to a string of unfortunate events. Ultimately, this realization brought about the justice you sought. You came to recognize that their mistreatment of you stemmed not from any fault of yours, but from their desperate attempts to evade the inevitable consequences they faced. You were merely a temporary reprieve from the impending reckoning they could not escape. Now that you've redirected your focus inward, pieced your life back together sans their influence, and reclaimed your sense of self, you'll begin to notice the presence of serendipity surrounding you. Meanwhile, the shadow of misfortune will continue to dog their every step. We're grateful that you embarked on this journey with us. May this experience serve as a lesson in understanding how karma shapes our lives, rewarding us based on our actions. In the meantime, remain vigilant, embrace courage, and seize the opportunity to live your best life in the present moment. The painful regret that a narcissist feels when he hurts you but his heart loves you very much. Thinking highly of themselves is something that narcissists do all the time to boost their own egos. Most of the time, they do this by putting other people down and making excuses for their own acts, putting the blame on someone else. Most people think it's more important to be responsible for what you do than to try to get other people to approve of you. Narcissists, on the other hand, often act in a passive-aggressive way, using subtle forms of violence while denying doing anything wrong. It shouldn't be a surprise that they're great at making reasons for what they do since they do it all the time. We will talk about 3 consequences that narcissists try to avoid in today's movie. We really appreciate your help and being here with us. You are the main reason why our YouTube station does so well, and we really appreciate your continued support. If you don't want to miss any more movies, make sure you click the bell and subscribe to our channel. Now is the time to start the conversation. First, narcissists will figure out how to get something done without telling anyone else. Narcissists may act in strange ways to hide their flaws, but they always go back to how they normally act. When people say making up, they mean leaving a fight behind. This is typical of narcissists because they like making other people's lives hard. They don't usually own up to their mistakes. Instead, they blame others, which makes it unlikely that they will say sorry. Narcissists often make up long, complicated reasons for what they do to defend their actions and shift the blame. They believe that if you don't think about something, you will forget about it. Nasty people, on the other hand, find it hard to take criticism and will do almost anything to avoid it. They will get angry with you if you bring it up. They will think you are being helpful if you act like the event didn't happen.